I've never been given any AIPAC money.
Any of them are registered.
They have to be
as a foreign lobby.
It's required by law.
One exception is Israel.
For some reason, AIPAC does not have to register. Israel is not anywhere in debt like we are. But I'm like, yeah, but Israel's the only one really coming out, getting our military to fight all their wars for them.
Marjorie Taylor Greene just stunned Tim Dillon with the truth about AIPAC and the Israel lobby. What are the purposes of AIPAC trips? She gets into that. Why it's so immoral that this lobby is the only foreign lobby that doesn't have to register under FARA, and how U.S. politicians are twisted to support Israel first at every direction. So let's get right into it. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit too about, you've been one of the more vocal opponents of AIPAC, of the incredible amount of influence that AIPAC's lobbying efforts have over people in Congress. And most people don't know what AIPAC is.
Right.
Or, I got to be honest, I knew what it was, but I was unaware of the level of influence that it had. I thought it was a lobbying group like any other group. The more and more you learn about AIPAC, the more and more you question why it's not registered, right? As a foreign government lobbying.
Absolutely.
And, when you see Netanyahu in the White House all the time, when you see policies that most Americans, I think, find abhorrent, starvation of children.
Terrible.
And by the way, I don't think that's because Americans hate Israel. No. I don't think they do.
I don't hate Israel.
I don't think I don't really
hate
know
Jewish
anyone
people
who does.
No.
Well, I do. I guess you're on the wrong problem, but I do. I hate any state, really, especially those that extract mass subsidies from the American public. Still, Marjorie Taylor Greene is heroic to talk about such things from the belly of the beast in Washington, D.C., about how there's so much propaganda about how opposing Israel is anti-Semitic and such as that. I do hate Israel. I happen to hate my own criminal government, too. That's not the same as hating the country. Obviously, you can't conflate the criminal government with the society, which I love. I love American society. And I would even go as far as to argue that it's not patriotic unless you do hate the criminal government in control, perverting our rights, killing innocents, etc.
Oh, I don't know anybody that does either, as a matter of fact.
Right. So, but they're looking at this. Any criticism, I've lost friends. I've had people unfollow my social media accounts, which is, in my generation as a 40-year-old, that's very hard. But these are prominent people.
Right.
One of them runs CBS News. Who cares? But over this issue. And I voiced dissent, but by the way, not even nearly what other people said. I was just like, we got to end this.
Yeah.
But the mildest criticism, Megyn Kelly, one of the most moderate people that you can speak to.
She's an independent.
She's really independent.
She is a registered independent.
Well, actually, she's a big self-proclaimed Zionist, too, which shows the insanity, the level of insanity in her case about the crosshairs on her for saying obvious truths like no one under 30 supports Israel, which isn't technically true, but it isn't far from the truth, by the way. It's for that and the crime of hosting Marjorie Taylor Greene on her podcast that has the Zionists up in arms. Straying even a foot off the reservation when it comes to Zionist is just putting yourself into danger from the Israel lobby. They're going to attack you. The ADL will attack you. You'll be an anti-Semite. You'll hear everything that dissidents do, even if you still say, you're a Zionist, which Megyn Kelly still does. And they're right, too, about Barry Weiss, who was named editor-in-chief of CBS because Paramount was bought out by David Ellison, Larry Ellison's son. And the valuation on the free press that Barry Weiss started up was given to be $150 million. Now, this program, Liberty Vault, I think it outperforms the Free Press YouTube. Free Press YouTube content does not work very well. It doesn't, get that many views. And just to think that that's a $150 million valuation is crazy. This is a Zionist buyout designed to propagandize Americans.
Mildest criticism of this issue, you are called an anti-Semite.
That's right.
You are said to be way out of the political mainstream and dangerous and everything like that. I've had big agents call me and be like, well, I think you're going down a bad road when what's going on?
I have been shocked by it as well. So it's like popular in Congress to say China bad, Russia bad, but you can't say that we shouldn't be influenced by Israel. Like,
Right.
What is that? And then I counted up. So here was another thing I couldn't believe. Like, we've never voted on a resolution denouncing the violence against young white males in this country.
Yeah.
No, we would never vote
Right.
on something like that.
Right.
However, since I've been in Congress, we've had 22 resolutions denouncing anti-Semitism.
Or denouncing, I don't know, the mass slaughter of Palestinians. Maybe think about that, but she's absolutely right. For all the haranguing about how much influence, Qatar and Russia have in our government. And don't get me wrong, I'm against that new Qatari base plan to be put in Idaho. People are going to say I'm funded by Qatar still, but no, I oppose that for the same reasons I oppose the perversion of any U.S. territory for any foreign country and any foreign entangling alliance in the first place. But at the same time, the clear influence of the U.S. political system isn't coming from China. It ain't coming from Qatar in nearly the same amount as it's coming from Israel and Ukraine. So that is the truth for all this Russiagate nonsense. It's Israel that maintains levers of power from within our government, not China or Russia or Qatar.
And denouncing anything.
What does a resolution to denounce anti-Semitism even do or mean? What even is it?
Nothing. It's just a piece of paper where it says, we as Congress denounce anti-Semitism. Okay, why do we have to vote on that?
It's a loyalty test. That's all it is. It's a loyalty test for the Zionists to know if you strayed a foot off the reservation. That's literally what it is. And Matt Gaetz has talked about that too. That's all it is. So you can be targeted to be primaried if you don't adhere to the Israel first mentality strong enough. That's the clear answer.
Don't we already denounce anti-Semitism?
Right.
But take that, but this is like, it's literally like you just have to keep doing it. You just have to keep doing it.
Right.
You just have to keep doing it. And I counted 22 times since I've been in Congress that we've had those kind of votes. But yet we never denounce other things that are significant and important to what's happening in America.
Right.
Right. And so that was shocking to me. I've never been given any AIPAC money.
Wow.
So I didn't get invited on the super duper special Israel trips.
Did you see that? What is it, 250 people?
It happens every.
Yeah, it was recently. They had one for like 200 people or something.
It's in August.
Oh, it's in August.
It's a routine trip.
Get us on that.
It's a routine trip. When you get elected as a member of Congress, if AIPAC approves of you and they've been donating to you and you're one of their candidates, which is most members of Congress, they take you to Israel. Okay, so just so you know, every August, that's our August recess. That's the 1 month where we're not here in Washington, D.C. We go back to our districts. It's called a district work period. It's a time to get back in your district, back to the people that voted for you, work in your office. For the love of God, see your family and friends. Be a normal human a little bit.
Right.
But that's when they take them to Israel.
Of course it is, because by super duper special Israel trips, AIPAC trips, she means propaganda tours. So instead of, meeting with who should be your constituents, if we were operating under a limited government republic in your home district, they're taking you to your real constituents in Israel, who hold the levers of power over the U.S. political system, rob us of our sovereignty, rob us of our wealth, $32 billion since October 7th because of that, sucking us into wars like most recently in Iran and also Libya and Syria and Iraq. The neocons were all for that too, but so was the Israel lobby and Netanyahu. So they're robbing you of your sovereignty through these AIPAC trips that literally are designed to line the pockets of politicians, buying them out, essentially, to, sell out for Israel. That's exactly what happens here. Matt Gaetz has talked about this, talking about how in the King David Hotel, he came back from, a venture that day that he was there originally and found someone in his room maybe bugging it. It's just so crazy to just go through these humiliation rituals and think like there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there is something wrong with it. And I'm so glad that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are finally chiming in and saying that there is.
During our 1 month.
Is this every year?
It's every other year.
Every other
year. Now, they take all the new freshmen that come in because we're elected every 2 years. So every other year, every 2 years is a whole new pack of members of Congress. But not just the freshmen go, a whole bunch of existing members of Congress go on the trips, and they have a Democrat trip and a Republican trip. Well, they bring them in. They spend time in having all types of informative sessions. They meet with members of the Israeli government, the prime minister, of course.
Yeah, they take pictures, propaganda pictures with blood-soaked, genocidal monsters like Netanyahu, like Ben-Gvir, like Katz, like, these nut jobs like Smotrich, the purveyors of genocide that the U.S. is bankrolling. They take propaganda pictures with them during their resource designed to go back to their actual constituent districts, their supposed ones, right? But no, Israel's their actual constituent district. Let's just be real about that.
Netanyahu meets with them. And it's extensive. They go on tours. They spend a lot of time there. And that's what happens. That's what AIPAC does. And AIPAC also is a big group of donors in America. And there's a lot of Christians in the group. And there's a lot of Jews. It's American Jews and Christians. And they donate to all kinds of, it's just state candidates, state and federal candidates. And they donate to them, but it's purely for the purposes of having their support for Israel. And that you have to register under the law, under FARA, if you are a foreign lobbyist for a foreign country. So any American citizen.
So Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
Any of them are registered.
They have to be.
As a foreign lobby.
It's required by law.
One exception is Israel.
For some reason, AIPAC does not have to register.
And Congress people, Democrats and Republicans, are there all the time hearing from the prime minister and the Israeli government about how to better advocate for Israel in America.
Absolutely. They all come back with the same talking points.
Yeah, Zionist occupied government. And guess what? Guess what Kennedy tried to do months and, up to weeks before his death in 1963? Starting in 1962, he tried to get an organization called the American Zionist Council to register as a foreign actor under FARA, which was enacted in 1938. Well, I think we know what happened to JFK, but here's the initial letter that the Attorney General's office sent to the American Zionist Council. By the way, that organization is called AIPAC today. They asked them to register, believing that their organization fit under this umbrella that required them to register, and told them how to fill out the registration forms. This is from the Assistant Attorney General, but this led to a legal clash between counsel for this organization, the American Zionist Council, and the federal government. And you can find this at the Israel Lobby Archive. There's lots of good information here. But I'll just say, JFK was blown to bits in late 1963, and after that, Lyndon Johnson didn't particularly have the same desire to get them to register. So take from that what you will, but Kennedy tried to stop this madness in the 60s, and we're paying the price that he wasn't able to. And, that could have led to his death. I'm just saying.
The reason why we have to continue to give them $3.8 billion every single year because it's for their defense. We have to fund their Iron Dome. But by the way, Israel has, they have state-funded healthcare. They have state-funded education, college education. Israel is not anywhere in debt like we are. They're in less than $400 billion in their national debt. We're in $37 trillion in national debt.
In the aid that we give them, it's very possible that their state healthcare and their state education, the United States of America is paying for that.
All money is fungible.
Right.
All money is fungible.
Right.
No one can ever say it's not. All
That's
money
right.
is fungible.
That's right.
And then, but here's the most interesting thing. These other foreign countries, they're not taking our members of Congress on trips that last for weeks on August recess periods.
Yeah, they're not making them kiss any wall either, nor is Israel sending representatives to kiss the Washington Memorial or something ridiculous like that. Those humiliation rituals, they only pertain to Israel, and Trump's all aboard on them. The Zionists and neocons are totally good with them. You know, that's seen as a rite of passage, like, you know, some kind of ritualistic thing to get into a fraternal order, like swallowing the goldfish. No, in this, it's kissing the wall. That's what we get from our politicians. But no, they're not sellouts, right? Yeah, they are. They're selling America out for a foreign country that they're prioritizing the interests of above our own country.
That's not happening.
I guess they should start.
Yeah,
seems effective.
They may be, that's the
Seems-
pushback. Is all these other countries, they spend a lot more money on lobbying Congress, but I'm like, yeah, but Israel's the only one really coming out getting our military to fight all their wars for them.
That is so true. Our military equipment just went to a recent war that they dragged us into. And by the way, that one was even more embarrassing because the U.S. ostensibly was trying to negotiate with Iran to create a new inspections regime to replace the one that the JCPOA set up from 2015 to 2018 that Trump tore up, maybe the only good foreign policy expedient that Obama ever had. Of course, you know, it was conjoined with additional aid to Israel, which was horrific, but that at least kept tensions off of the U.S.-Iranian relationship. But it was something that Netanyahu couldn't accept because he wanted there to be a pretext for war. And that's like, oh, they're going to have a nuclear weapon any day, any month. He just talked about it the other day, too, saying in a recent interview that, hey, you know, they could strike New York City or Boston. In this article, they could strike New York City, Boston, Washington, or Miami under their atomic guns. And look at the preeminent neocon stooge interviewing him in this. Of course, we knew we were going to get this after the war. But she is right. I mean, whether or not the funding that the U.S. gives directly goes to their welfare state and healthcare programs is immaterial, because by giving them military equipment, and we have given them $32 billion since October 7th, they can use other funding, you know, for other reasons that they wouldn't otherwise have to, you know, move into other directions. That is, you know, what we're being fleeced of here. It's total robbery from Americans. And you don't even have to support like universal health care or anything like that to take that position. Like, this is pretty ridiculous, as she's right that they are in a less proportional debt than the United States is by far. We're $37 trillion in debt, and somehow this is a good idea. And oh, citizen, if you happen to complain about it, you're not America first. They're calling this America first. That's the most glaring hypocrisy that Americans can't escape, I think, or try to justify. I've never heard anyone, you know, give a good justification for this relationship. But it's great to see people on the right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, truly heroic on this issue, actually call what was happening in Gaza a genocide. And, you know, right now there's a ceasefire, but it looks like it already may have been broken today as I'm recording this. So we'll see what happens from that. I was never too hopeful. You know, after the hostage exchange, I think we might get that same situation that we got after Netanyahu violated the first ceasefire that was arranged by Trump as he walked into the Oval Office. But we'll see. You know, this is a perverted, unholy relationship. It's something that's so detrimental to Americans. It plunges us into debt. It spills over into domestic policy with people pitted against each other, calling each other anti-Semites and saying that, you know, there has to be some kind of hate speech laws to accommodate that. This is how it's perverted our domestic policy too. So if you think this is just foreign policy, it's not. I do want to hear from you though. Was this a good interview between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tim Dillon? What do you think about her statements, Farah, anything else related to this? Let me know in the comments down below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Tim, for this interview. I love Tim, does great interviews. This is an awesome one. And if you like this video, please consider becoming a YouTube member by clicking the join button below. You like my commentary, want to support the channel? Awesome. I'd really appreciate that, and I'll be so happy to accommodate you with a gift for that, and that's to give you access to all of my videos before they go live to the general public on YouTube if you do support me. And until I see you guys next time, no more war, no more debt, no more inflation, and no more empire. Peace out, guys. Catch you in the next one.